was, were, the past simple form of to be in passive voice. Hello, English learners. Today, we are going to explore an essential part of the English language, the past simple forms of the verb to be, was, and were. These forms are particularly important when we form the passive voice. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it. Was and were are the past simple forms of the verb to be. We use was when referring to the first and third person singular. I, he, she, it, and were for second person singular and all plural forms. You, we, they. It's crucial to remember this difference because it dictates how our sentences are structured. For example, I was at the park. They were at the mall. When we're talking about the passive voice, was and were are used as auxiliary verbs to indicate a past action performed on the subject. Remember that in the passive voice, the focus is on the action and the person or object that received the action. Here are some examples. The cake was eaten by John. The letters were sent by Sarah. Notice how was is used when the subject is singular, the cake, and were is used when the subject is plural, the letters. Now it's time for some practice. Try forming your own sentences using was and were in the passive voice. Remember, the key is to focus on the action and the recipient. For example, the song was sung by me. The chores were done by the kids. Finally, let's tackle some common mistakes that learners often make. A common one is confusing when to use was and were. Remember, was is for singular, and were is for plural and second person singular. Another mistake is not using the past participle form of the main verb in passive voice sentences. In passive sentences, always use the past participle after was or were. For instance, incorrect, the book was read by her. Correct, the book was read by her. And that's it. I hope this video has helped clarify the use of was and were in the past simple form, especially in passive voice sentences. Remember, practice makes perfect. So, keep practicing these structures until they become second nature. Happy learning!